What is it that makes home home? Now I know your family is the key, but I'm talking about the place home. Is it the stupid stuff you have that is yours and yours only? Or can you make a home out of any random billboard on any random street in the country? Welcome to Breakfast Time with Tom Bergeron, Laura Hibben, Bob the Puppet. My name's Jim and I'm the announcer. Say good morning, Tom.
Good morning, Tom! Here on Sunset Boulevard, inside the world's first living billboard. The Breakfast Time Billboard. How about this, Lori, huh?
Not bad. You guys
but in the
look great.
I'll tell you, it's great, but there are no pedestrians in this whole city. It's amazing. In the interest of becoming a pedestrian myself, keeping my New York roots, I'm going to, through the magic of modern technology, do my regular walk through the apartment to tell you some of the things coming up on today's show. By the way, some of the royal family is going to be jumping from this billboard in response to Princess Di's interview last night. Let's go for a walk now, and let's stop, if we would, by the game room, because I think I want to look in the game room, because later on the show we are going to make sure we duck. Heavens, yeah. And later in the show, we're going to find out how parents can safeguard the internet from various sort of unseemly areas that they don't want their kids to see. And Trevor Kaufman will help us with that. Trevor, shake my hand if you would. Thank you so much. Let's go walking over to the bathroom now, because Jane Larkworthy from Mademoiselle magazine is here to show us how best to apply makeup and foundation. It'll be a wonderful segment, and that's coming up a little later. Let me just give you a little peck on the cheek, if I might. A little peck on the cheek.
Jane's not here yet.
Yeah, one of these fine runway rangers.
Alrighty.
And heading down the hall, let's go into the bedroom and welcome our little wart-laden Bob back from vacation.
Yeah.
Bobby's here.
Hey.
Bobby's back.
Wow,
Hey,
look.
Bob, how are you?
Okay, hey, look. Video makes you tall, doesn't it?
Whatever works.
Wow, what a giant.
We've got the music of Billy Bragg. We have Roxanne Hart, who'll join me in the Billboard on Sunset Boulevard. She from Chicago Hope. And what else is happening? Well, first of all, the lovely and talented, give her a good gesture, Lori Hibben.
Thank you. Good morning, Tom.
Yeah.
How you doing? You look great.
You have a good... Yeah, you can't see me. Or can you? How
I'm
many
looking
fingers?
right at you.
How many fingers? Did you have a good trip?
I did have a good trip. We got in. It's a little strange with the time change, of course, because we're a little discombobulated, having left New York at about 4:30 and gotten in, what, about 10:30, 11 o'clock Eastern time. So it is odd.
Long day. Ready for picture news, though?
I'd love to do picture news.
right.
I'll applaud at that thought, won't I? I'll applaud.
Applaud at the thought of picture news. There you go.
You know, it's very hard to send motor responses from coast to coast.
Your hands got bigger. That's all I can say.
Yes, yeah. I had it done here on the strip.
Let's go.
All right.
Where have all the Johns gone? Like I said, who doesn't have one? And Kiwi cussing.
What was the third one?
Kiwi cussing.
Here, let me ponder that. Let me give my pondering gesture.
Oh, wait a second. That's vertical control.
Uh-oh. Here comes Mike and Maddie. I'll go with number two.
Number two, like I said, who doesn't... No, you don't want to. You don't want to. No.
Number one.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Where have all the Johns gone? For the first time in this century, the name John is out of the top 10 list of the most used names that our kids are given. It was edged out by Brandon, of all things. John ended up number 12 on the list, and number 1 for the 13th straight year, Michael.
Yay.
Oh, I was going to go for Ringo.
Maybe next year.
Guess not. Well, we're going to be showing you, Lori and Bob and everybody watching, all of what's going on here in New York City. I would just like to thank LA. Oh God, I'm on the wrong coast. Can I get a shot of pedestrians, just so I can see a pedestrian in New York?
Sure. Do we have the ledge cam? Is it up?
Yeah, I'm missing the actual.
There we go.
Oh, there you go.
People actually walk around in New York.
They're actually watching our show. They're standing outside watching.
Yeah.
That's good.
Well, we hired these people to walk around, yeah.
I would like to thank the rest of my New York body for helping out, but why don't you change the channel and get lost so I can take the rest of it from here.
Okay.
All right?
Thanks,
How about a
Tom.
hand for the rest of my New York body?
Yeah!
There we go.
Thanks, Paul.
Oh, he keeps coming back.
Wow.
Isn't Gilligan
Like a bad
It's your worst
radish.
nightmare. You can't shut me up.
Oh, yes, we can.
All right, let me turn over here. Let's get a shot of the whole billboard. We got FX employees here you'll meet later. But since we saw you last time, the world saw its first interactive billboard. How about that for a self-serving
Hey,
city?
not
I saw
bad.
you. All right, let's go, Danny, if you bring me the monitor again so I can welcome our road warriors around the country. Up the road a piece from me as I stand here in Los Angeles. Spencer Garbett is in Santa Clara, California, and it's a very athletic day. I'll be running around billboards. Lori and Bob will be running and slithering around the apartment. And Spencer is with the first U.S. Olympic synchronized swimming team.
Yay.
Correct. I just want to welcome you to the road, Tom, and we are at the Santa Clara International Swim Stadium. Right now, Mark Spitz actually trained here when he was training for the Olympics. He won all his medals. This is the first year that they're doing team synchronized swimming. There are 8 women in the water. They will show us their award-winning routine that qualified the Olympics. Meet the coach. We'll see the routine and find out how it all comes together.
Wow.
That is great.
Yay.
Now, if that's not enough, if Olympic-style synchronized swimming isn't enough for you, we're going to also meet the world champion dynamic diplomats of Double Dutch and the Jazzy Jumpers as we see some Double Dutch champion jump roping outside on a number of Sunset Strip will be Double Dutching as they'll have the rope handy once they all wake up. In addition to that, Dr. Ron Hoffman, our FX medical guy, is going to be across the street in our backyard in New York in Madison Square Park, and he will show us through a giant mock-up of a human face why the nose can smell over 10,000 cents and why that matters. That's all coming up. Oh, look at that. Oh, the dolly head. Jilly, are you there with that?
Yes, I am. I got a flower, Tom, because like you said, the nose can smell over 10,000 different scents. We're going to be seeing with Dr. Ron how this big nose is going to smell this flower. Now, I want you to take note, Tom, that whenever Phil does these outdoor segments, he never had to walk inside a nose, but I'm here, and when I come back with Dr. Ron, I'm going to be going inside this nose, learning how we smell and the emotion that it evokes in us when we do smell different scents.
I'm guessing that'll smell like plywood. Probably.
Yeah.
That's all coming up.
All right,
Bob?
Tom, what's this harness you're wearing?
Yeah.
Well, this harness, if you want to pull up, in order for me to get around on the billboard, I have to harness myself in. It has a latch and a safety hook there, and they wouldn't let me up here.
You dummy.
Yeah, no kidding. They wouldn't, but I will have to detach it as I introduce you later to some of the FX employees and get up to the second level for a little bit of a run-amok in just a bit. But this is just to keep me from getting a major attack of live national vertigo.
You know, we should get you one of those for the apartment here.
Yeah.
Just to keep you in
They've
line.
tried before.
Yeah. That's the short leash management's always talking about.
Yeah.
That's exactly right, Bob.
More with Tom at the Billboard coming up right now. Let's take a look at some of today's top stories.
Yay.
Thanks, Lori. Good morning, everyone. I'm Jane Fergus. Here's what's happening with Breakfast Time News. An autopsy planned today for Russian skating star Sergei Grinkov will shed light on why he died. The 28-year-old Olympic gold medalist collapsed and died on the ice yesterday in Lake Placid, New York. He was practicing with his wife and pairs partner, Ekaterina Gordeva. Officials think Grinkov may have had a heart attack. Good news for those of you still making travel plans for Thanksgiving. Several major airlines are offering discounted fares for holiday flights, but there's a catch. The tickets can only be bought one day in advance, and you have to return on Saturday. In Monday Night Football action, San Francisco mowed over Miami 44-20. The 49ers are tied with Atlanta for first place in the NFC West. And finally, the early birds got free as a bird. Today at record stores across the country, the Beatles anthology went on sale just after midnight. One Chicago store reported 350 people waiting for the sale to begin, and in New York. A store owner said the album flew out of the door at about 1 every 30 seconds. So a quick look at what's making news. Now it's time for another action-packed adventure of Nikki Notorious, private meteorologist.
Don't make me beat it out of you, Nikki said to the weasel. Why are you carrying a duck-handled umbrella? Okay, Notorious, I'll talk, he said. I was going to Ashland, Nebraska. Nikki smacked him a good one across the puss. There's a spiky yellow ball in Ashland, Nebraska. We'll be all day. Now, if you said you were going to Cottage Grove, Oregon, then I had to cut you some slack. Nikki, as a private meteorologist, knew there'd be rain in the North Pacific coast and in northern Idaho. He knew there'd be snow all around the Great Lakes, going right down into northern Kentucky. And he knew there'd be rain in northern and central Florida. Luckily, Nikki didn't have to explain the high temperatures to the weasel. By the way, nice gam on the 50s, but a big foot. And that's the weather.
I love, Lori, don't you love Nikki Notorious?
Love Nikki.
Yeah.
Love Nikki.
That is my favorite.
Hey, guys,
definitely.
it's getting close to time for an intervention. I'm sorry.
I think we interceded on the weight.
That's a...
No more weight.
They tried that.
But we'll see. Ready to meet the family, Tom?
I'd love to meet the family. I'll even stand up for that.
Okay, tachographic, please. Welcome the O'Connell family who join us from Farmington, New Hampshire.
Hi, O'Connell.
New Hampshire.
Oh, good. Fine, thank
It's
you.
great to be on a perky morning show. I've always wanted to do this. Thanks.
Perky?
We're proud of ourselves.
Did you brush your teeth?
You know, there's too much,
No, Tom.
Tim, there's too much suffering in the world to do a perky morning show.
I agree,
As a
Tom.
matter of fact, I'm
This is
unlatching
Bill.
now.
Actually, we're talking to Bill, who is Tim's dad. Tim is the one who wrote us the letter, so I'm going to squeeze around here to him so that you
Is
can
that little
introduce us
Tim?
to your family.
Yep.
This is Tim right here.
Okay, this is my brother Dan, my brother Pat,
Yo.
my dad Bill, and
Yo.
my mother Carol.
Yo, Mother
All right.
Carol.
And as I understand it, you guys also have some teachers that you want to say hi to, right?
Yes, I'd like to say hello to Mr. Shagnan's class in Farmington.
Good,
New
sucking up to the
Hampshire.
teacher.
Give him a good
Good.
wave. Give him a
Yeah,
good
right,
wave.
yeah.
All right. And
Smart
Daniel, what
kid.
about you?
Hi, Mrs. Dolan. Oh, where's the camera?
There you go.
Hi, Mrs. Dolan-Myers.
He's already looking for his close-up.
No, he's right. You're okay. He's
Yeah.
worried about his close-up. What a kid. We are proud to give you a lovely Polaroid camera, one step that you can play with. It was malfunctioning before the show, but we're hoping that everything will be okay. So while we take a picture, Jim's going to tell us all about Farmington, New
That's
Hampshire.
right.
now.
Farmington was settled in 1770 by English colonists, and it was known as Puddle Dock. And it was named for, well, you can figure it out. But it was also home to the Dan Quayle of his day, Henry Wilson, who served as vice president under Ulysses Simpson Grant.
Wait a minute, let me pose with you.
All right,
Okay,
wait,
ready?
Tom's in the poster. I guess not.
Let's meet
Come
the
on, Terry.
Hendersons.
Yeah.
There we go.
Just
Lovely
20 minutes
picture.
south of
Now,
Lake Winnet.
Lori, I want to hear from little Daniel for a second. If
Uh-oh.
you could take a microphone over
Yeah,
to Daniel.
got it.
Now, Daniel, I understand that you do impressions. Is
Yeah.
that right?
Yes.
What's your favorite impression to do?
I don't have one.
Yeah, what are some of the impressions you do?
There you go.
Raptor.
You do a raptor?
Yes.
Kid,
Oh,
I'll
from
tell you
Jurassic Park, a raptor.
Oh, yeah.
what. I'm sorry?
Like a Jurassic Park raptor.
Oh, you do a raptor.
Yeah.
Now, here's what we'd like you to do, Daniel. Jim is going to tell the folks what's coming up next. If you could give us a raptor in the apartment to go out with, would you do that?
Well, you know what, Tom? Before we do that, we're going to do the address, and Jim's
Yeah.
going to tell everybody
Yeah.
how they can be a visiting family.
That's right. You can write to us at Breakfast Time, P.O. Box 825. That's when you're going to be in New York. And who knows? You may be asked to do impressions on a morning show.
All right, Daniel's a
You
little
ready,
nervous,
Daniel?
so we're going to give him a
You
little.
ready?
Now, this worked on the Partridge Family. Just close your eyes and pretend you're in the garage, and everything should be fine. Daniel, as
You
the
might
raptor.
stand up, Daniel.
That'll take the
Stand up.
pressure
No
off.
raptor
Yeah.
sits at the dining room
That-
table.
right over there.
Yeah.
Go for it.
All right, Daniel.
Ah! That was terrifying! Woo!
One more time. Come on, Daniel. One more time.
One more
Give us
time.
One more raptor.
You're traumatizing this poor kid.
One more Raptor, Daniel. That was cool.
Jim, what's coming
Jim,
up?
what else is coming up from the Lost World?
The world's first living billboard and Bob Keeshan, the world's first talking kangaroo. Both coming up on Breakfast Time. It's 8 minutes past the hour. Welcome back to Breakfast Time with Lori Todd, the puppet and Jim. I'm the announcer. Here's Lori.
Thank you very much. Full apartment today. Jill and Phil are off the road, back from a couple of days out there, and the Bobsters here, and Tom is co-hosting all the way from Los Angeles on a billboard, a live billboard. Tom, I am tethering myself to the lamp, and I'm ready for your next segment.
You know, this is sort of a dream come true for me.
I don't know if the safest thing for you to do, Lori, is harnessing yourself next to Bob. Sure, you're taking that self-defense course. You know what you're doing.
He's afraid.
We're here at Sunset Boulevard on the world's first living billboard, and we have a very special guest. Bring him up. In 1984, West Hollywood became an actual city. We have the honorable mayor of West Hollywood, Mayor John Heilman. Come on up, Mayor.
He's on his way.
Pretend it's a poll rating. Don't go killing yourself on live TV. That's really, What, are you a Democrat or Republican?
We're nonpartisan.
Oh, you're nonpartisan. All right. He's nonpartisan. Be gentle.
Yay, nonpartisan party.
Now, first of all, good to have you here. Do you have the scissors?
I don't have.
You don't have any scissors?
All they gave me was the hat.
Oh, okay. All right, because we were going to do a ribbon cutting, but I'll tell you what. What we'll do instead is that you take this and just have it handy for any other big West Hollywood event. All right.
Great.
Now, West Hollywood, I mentioned, was first incorporated as a city in 1984. Is that right?
1984.
And it is said by some to be more Hollywood than Hollywood itself.
Well, we have the whole Sunset Strip area.
Billboard.
You got a view, a portion of it. All the new nightclubs are up here.
Get a shot over here, the Chateau Marmont. That's where John Belushi went to that big comedy club in the sky.
Yeah.
That also is where the romance of Paul Newman and Joanne Woodward got started.
Wow.
And Boris Karloff lived there for many years, right, Mayor?
Before my time.
Oh, before your time. He's a whippersnapper of a mayor. A pleasure to have you here with us. Thank you, Mayor Heilman, the Honorable Mayor. Me too. Take him down. The mayor of West Hollywood.
Yeah.
Now, thank you, Mayor.
Larry, it's mayor
Now,
in a bucket.
what I'm going to do is a billboard-style run-amok. All right, so I'm going to head up to the top level of this billboard to give you a sense of what it's like.
Be careful.
Yeah, I know. Thank you, Adam. It is a two-level billboard. It is fully interactive with the people who drive by on the way to work.
This is the time a wide shot would be good, as opposed to Tom's feet.
Do you have a wide shot?
Guess not.
And check your teams next time.
At least the wide angle.
Hey, what that? What are you doing down there? Are you seeing it?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Let me just take some quick from some of our gang here. Hi. And I'm going to do.
I'm the vice president of promotion.
All right, so was this your idea?
When I got this job, they said, Adam, take FX to
That's Tom's earpiece,
you know
folks.
Here we go. What's your name, sir?
Hi, I'm Gavin Hoyer.
And you are?
I'm the director of
That's right.
It's a good way to, like this here.
All right, let me get past you here
Shouldn't he
if
be
I
on
can.
the next level?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he is. Yeah, do you?
I'm sorry?
You are?
Amy Juris.
Can you see Amy?
Yeah, we should see Amy.
What do you do, Amy, for a thing?
I'm the dance coordinator.
You're the dance coordinator.
Tom?
Really?
Tom?
Yes, Bob.
I'll take Amy to block.
Okay. We're going over to Rosemary next. All right. And your name, sir?
Tom Knudsen.
And Tom, what do you do?
Coordinator affiliate marketing local ed sales.
Wonderful. Good to have you with us.
And remember the village people.
YMCA. Okay. And your name?
Both of us.
And what do you do, Raina?
I'm an event planner.
You're in event planning, so this would be partly your brainchild, I guess.
Not my brainchild, but I'm part of it. So.
All right. By the way, over here, excuse me, this restaurant right over here on the corner of Sunset and Sweetser, called The Source.
Is it going to talk to us?
Can you see it?
Yeah.
Not yet.
They told her to do it in Ed Hall. That was the restaurant at the end of the movie where they have that conversation and they realize they're not going to decide through it. That's over there.
It's a great vegetarian restaurant.
Yeah.
Bill Hurley said.
Bill Hurley is here in case I fall.
Tom, Yeah. You have to forgive us. We're getting some really funny camera angles, and it's amusing to watch. You're missing it.
Okay. And I'll take your. I'll see more of this when we get the tape.
Yeah.
And up here is Jay Ward Studios, where Rocky and Bullwinkle and all those great shows were created. What's your name?
Bonnie.
And Bonnie, you lie over the ocean and you lie over Sunset Boulevard.
Exactly.
And what do you do for FX?
Marketing and promotion.
Marketing and promotion. Come on, everybody, crowd down here. These are just the second-level people who are making FX, the world's first living television network, here on the West Coast. I'll show you some of the folks down below a little bit later, but here we are on the world's first living billboard.
And you look fabulous.
Wow.
You really do. Thanks, Tom.
You're welcome.
You know the one person missing on that billboard?
Who?
Bob Keeshan. Captain Kangaroo. I can't believe we didn't think to send him out there.
Yeah.
But let's have a little inspirational thought of wisdom from him anyway.
Cool.
Bob?
Jeffrey Hebert said, the first and most exciting thing about goals is having one.
Having a goal?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Or having gold.
Yeah.
Oh, having gold. That is exciting.
You're Canadian. Hockey players know that. Having a goal is very important.
I know it.
Yeah.
Okay, we got a lot more show coming up. Tom's in the billboard. We're in the apartment. It's a great show, so please stay with us, Jim.
We'll be watching synchronized swimming. So synchronize your watches and watch Breakfast Time.
Why do we
all have our mouths open?
We all have our mouths open. I'm trying to catch bingo.
You were thinking.
But that's it done exactly, and behind these curtains, heaven knows what will be appearing over the course of the next few weeks.
Oh, it looks tough. Tom, where are you?
Right now, off the staging part and off the corner of the billboard, so I can watch what Spencer's up to.
Oh, good. Okay, because we're going to go to him right now. You may ask yourself what it takes to be the World Championship synchronized swimming team. I'm sure you do, Tom.
Just this morning.
Tom? Tom?
Yeah?
Don't you ask yourself that?
What's that?
He was asking himself some questions at the time.
Never mind.
I'm going to sound like Grampy a little bit today. Let's say, Lori.
All right, let's turn to Spencer. He's in Santa Clara, California with the aforementioned U.S. synchro swimming team, and they are #1 in the world, and we're going to find out what that entails. Good morning, Spencer.
Well, the synchronized swimmers here they are, a team sport, synchronized swimming, and they're all ready to go.
Alabama.
There's 10 of them, and 8 of them will swim in 2 different routines. Now, this is Becky, and she's the most medaled synchronized swimmer in the history of but she hasn't gone to the Olympics. She's going now, and you're also responsible for a Grand Slam. What is that?
A Grand Slam is winning all events in one competition, which is the solo, duet, and team and figures.
My goodness. And also, her sister Susanna is also swimming this year. And is there any kind of competition or camaraderie between the two at all? Yes.
There's really no rivalry between us. We are very supportive of each other, though, and it's.
Are you excited to go to the Olympics this year?
Oh, very excited to go.
Now, are you excited to go to the Olympics because now it's a team sport? Is that a big deal for you?
Oh, absolutely. I think every one of us realized that we had a real chance to go to the Olympics and realize our lifelong dreams. And team's the most exciting and most fun event.
Okay, great. This is Natalie and the rest of the team. Ladies, if you go in the water, we'll see an award-winning routine that got them to the Olympics. Now, there's 2 different routines that they will do. They'll do a 5-minute freestyle, which is what you're going to see, and they also do a 3-minute technical, which we'll see a little bit of later on. Now, this is the coach, Chris Carver, over here. And Chris Carver's been coaching synchronized swimming for about 26 years. Now, Chris, tell us exactly about this routine.
Okay, this routine is an Americana routine, and this is the team that won the World Cup. Full of difficulty, and you're going to see an interesting move coming up right away here. It has a artistic element and a technical element. You're seeing the technical work right now. The girls are up down, pointed only with their arms. They're in 70 feet of water. Here is that interesting coming up right here. They're building a huge platform and bringing it all the way out of water.
Great. Now, how does it take to get a routine like this? How do you go about starting it?
You first have the concept, and the concept this year was Americana because we were competing in Atlanta. And from there, you pick the music, develop the choreography. The choreography is developed both with the coach and the swimmers. They add a lot to the artistry of the whole thing.
Now, what are the judges looking for in the routine? How do they judge it?
Right now, they're going to be looking for height above the water. And coming up, they're going to see a spin. And if you think skating, Again, the technical aspects of the spin are judged. Here is a real position.
Oh, my
and they're going to be doing several revelations here.
They spin exactly. How do they keep it all together?
I would say it's about 500 hours of practice test routine to this point.
There's also underwater speakers so that they can hear the music as well, above and below.
Wow.
And in addition to that, about what's the background of these girls and the age ranges?
Well, they range in age from 20 to 27, and have graduated from college, and right now they're training full-time for the Olympic Games.
Okay, great. We wish them best of luck. They're doing absolutely outstanding, and it's just amazing. They also use what's called an 8 count, which they count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, in order to keep themselves in sync as well. They do a lot of cross training. They do weights. They're in the water, 6 hours a day, swimming, training. So it's quite rigorous, quite extensive, and they make it look so easy. It's just about amazing, and we wish them the best of luck in 1996 coming up.
Spencer, thank you. One of the more underappreciated sports, but those women are in top physical condition. Just so impressive. Tom, what do you think?
That's great.
Yeah.
I watched the whole thing from the Billboard here. I want to make this mention. I'm going to come up here if we can go for the wide shot again. Excuse me, Danny.
Hi to
We got
Danny Tepper
Rich
for us.
Ross and Elio Hensley up here from our gang on the West Coast. Apparently, the folks at McDonald's, knowing we were going to be here, Lori and Bob and Jim, donated to us 12 breakfasts.
Yay! All right.
How much does that set you back, McDonald's? Look at the people here. I'll hook myself. Yeah, I'll hook myself up. He's like, unless we get more breakfasts, I'm going over. All right, so let's see. How many breakfasts do we need? How many? Come on, McDonald's.
Well, you got 12 doors.
Say 30. Say 30.
Yeah.
30. 30 is a good number.
Yeah.
All right, so I don't want to look a gift McMuffin in the mouth, but right now let's take a look at some of today's top stories.
All right.
Good morning. As Tom is strapped in so he doesn't drop off that billboard, it looks like another Republican is dropping out of the race for president. A senior campaign aide says Pennsylvania Senator Arlen Specter is quitting because of a lack of campaign funds. An official announcement is expected later this week. He'd be the second declared candidate to lead the GOP race following California Governor Pete Wilson. A breakthrough in the fight against AIDS, the FDA has approved the drug 3TC, which, when used with another drug, is supposed to help boost patients' immune systems. It'll be available in pharmacies next week. And finally, in some entertainment news, more money for actress Meg Ryan. The Hollywood Reporter says she's negotiating for a $9 million paycheck to star in the upcoming film Easy Women. Ryan was paid about $6 million to star in her latest 2 movies, Courage Under Fire and French Kiss. That's a quick look at the news. Now the weather is his beat. It's time for a two-fisted forecaster, Nikki Notorious, private meteorologist.
Renata Cood. Oh, Nikki, take me away from all this. Take me somewhere nice and I'll be nice to you. Nikki just laughed at her. Great, Renata. You want to blow off Lebanon, Indiana just because it's going to snow? Well, that's not the kind of guy I am. I don't head off to a place like Thornton, Colorado just because they got a spiky yellow ball. Renata had seen her share of spiky yellow balls throughout the central and western part of the country. But Nikki knew about the snow around the Great Lakes going all the way down to northern Kentucky. The rain in northern Florida, the rain in the North Pacific coast. Take a look at the temperature map, Dolly said, knowing she'd never understand that big bulge in the 60s. And that's the weather.
Thanks, Nikki.
I was away for 3 days. Didn't you notice he was getting worse?
No, we're just letting him get it out of his system.
At least we got him to stop saying what, Bob.
Yeah. Wait.
What? Listen, watch what happens when we say, how about a little mailbag music, Maestro?
What? Oh, yeah, he's better. What?
Wait, now it's what? Tom, I have a letter here from Willard Soley of Roswell, New Mexico, who brings up a really good point. He says, I don't know if you're aware of this, but here in New Mexico, you come on at 8 a.m. local time. Regis and Kathy Lee come on at 9 a.m. This means that it is not unusual for one of your guests to be seen here just before being seen on Regis's show. It's almost as though Regis is getting your leftovers. Don't tell Gelman. I won't. Believe me, I won't.
Yeah.
I got to tell you, there's a really bad FM station that's also coming in. Yeah.
What are they playing?
Yeah.
They were playing some ghastly thing. Some ghastly thing. But I caught part of that. I've got one from Jim Wright in Allentown, Pennsylvania. Dear Tom and Lori, I'm an illustrator from Allentown. I love your show. In fact, you guys inspired me to do this piece of artwork. I hope you like this bad boy, as JD would say. Here's a caricature of the thing. Isn't that wonderful?
Your face is thinner, and I've got bigger hair.
I've got Vulcan ears, and this is when I was wearing my A&P stock boy outfit. And you have a forehead that rivals Glenn Close.
Talk about a receding hairline.
And Bob, you just kind of look like you.
Yeah. I never change, do I, Tom?
I didn't even know. What are you wearing today? Oh, you got a nice outfit.
I'm wearing mulch. I've got a mulch outfit on.
Mulch and a harness. I see.
Yeah, mulch and a harness. Pardon me, wait a minute.
What is this, a baseball game?
No, you've never looked more attractive, Tom.
Thanks so much.
Yeah, don't spit.
I got this outfit from Chris O'Donnell.
Oh, yeah. No, I won't say it. Never mind. I'm passing on a great line, and you'll be happy about it.
Yeah, we all are. Thank you.
If we read your letter on the air, we will send you an FX t-shirt. And you had to write it back.
It starts by when you write to us at breakfast time, P.O. Box 825, Madison Square Station, New York, New York 10159-0825. Or you call us at our Sprint-sponsored 800 number 800 FXFXFX1. Or fax us at 212-802-4208. Or email us at fxbreakfast@delphi.com. If we read the letter on the air, the t-shirt's in the mail.
All right.
Yay.
Tom, I just want to let you know that I'm heading outside. I'm heading outside to go double dutching, okay?
All right.
So I'll see you in a bit.
And I'll use this opportunity to welcome a few more of our FX gang from the West Coast. What's your name?
Chris Phelan.
Chris, and what do you do here?
I'm manager of development and production.
All right, and let's come over here.
Hello.
All right, Chuck, sir. What's your name?
Chuck Sapp.
I knew that. And what do you do?
I'm director of programs.
Okay, all right.
Hello.
Do you realize that if a tremor hits now, the world's first living television network won't be? Jim, what else is coming up?
Is Double Dutch politically correct? Well, whatever it is, it's something to see, and it's coming up on Breakfast Time. It's 18 minutes to the top of the hour. Welcome back to Breakfast Time with Lori, Tom, Bob the Puppet, and me, Jim. I am the announcer, and here's Lori.
Thank you very much, Jim. I'm on the streets of New York right now. And,
Wait.
What's happening, Tom?
Well, we're just home and showing off. That's what's happening. We're gonna help you with jump roping here. What were you? Hold on a second. You were a what, sir?
I was a national jump roping champ.
Jim, you got a word for us, like set up?
Ringer. Well, you guys know the joke about the guy who was minding another guy's cat? When the owner called to see how the cat was doing, the sitter said he's dead, and the owner goes ballistic and says, you should have introduced the idea gradually. You should have said, like the cat is on the roof, the cat is near the edge of the roof, the cat is falling. You know that one?
No.
No? Yeah. All right, well, what the owner was suggesting is that instead of just blurting something out, the other guy should have, Maestro, insinuated.
Insinuated.
And that means to introduce an idea gradually and insidiously. But when you say insinuate, usually you mean something negative. Usually you talk about like nice hat.
Our meteorologist is on the ledge.
And that's the word of the day.
Thank you, Jim.
Now, you guys are going to double dutch along with us, right?
Well, we'll do more conventional jump roping, except Mr. Show Off the Mayor here might go a little nuts on us.
They finally gave him enough rope.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, double dutching became a competitive sport about 25 years ago. Now, this weekend, 60 teams are going to meet at the Apollo Theater here in New York City to duke it out and see who are the best ones. We're lucky enough to have the Jazzy Jumpers with us this morning. They're a high school team from Brooklyn. They're going to show us what competition is all about. We also have David Walker, who's the president of the Double Dutch League. We welcome you to Breakfast Time. Thank you for coming here.
Thank you. We're having fun.
When did Double Dutch start? Where did it originate?
Double Dutch has been around for centuries. New York City really developed the concept of Double Dutch about 20-some-odd years ago.
Yeah.
This is competitive Double Dutch. This is great. This is a great team. 8th grade is high school. They'll be at the Apollo Theater November 26th.
Now, what
They'll be looking to win.
What does competition involve, and what type of things do
Three
you have to do?
categories of tests. We have what we call a speed test, a compulsory routine, a required trick test, and of course the freestyle test.
Okay, let's see a little of the first one.
Let's see some speed. We're going to look at some speed.
All right, let's see speed.
The other team had the world famous Apollo, of course. Jazzy Jump is a world-class team. Now we're going to look at what we call compulsory routine, required tricks.
Let's see some of the compulsive.
Compulsory. The judge will be looking at how they enter the ropes, how they turn to the right twice with their right foot, how they turn to the left with their left foot.
Oh, yeah.
Crisscross jumps, and what we call high steps.
So these are all compulsory moves that they get judged on at the competition, huh?
Right.
How long do they have to do all the moves?
This is a 30-second routine, and then of course we're going to do a freestyle routine for you in a little bit.
So is this a freestyle?
No, this is doubles compulsory.
Oh, okay.
Two team members executing the same routine together.
How long do these girls practice for this?
They practice at least 3 times, 4 times a week. It's very important close to the competition. By the way, the competition is supported by a great company called Nutriment.
Okay.
Called an energy and fitness drink.
Can we see some
now
of the
we go right into freestyle routine. Freestyle. Singles freestyle. Very intricate routine choreographed by the team members with the help of friends and coaches.
Now I'm guessing that the turners, the people who turn the ropes, are just as
Most
important as the jumpers.
part of the double dutch team are the turners.
Sure.
We say there is no star in a double dutch team. All teams.
Everybody's clapping up here.
Yeah,
All right.
they are. Woo, we're in their way.
Call it acrobatic stunts. All right, let's bring them in.
Out of the jump rope. What's your name? Krista Madison. Okay, Krista, why do you double dash? What do you get out of it?
It's just fun. And it's cool. It keeps you mostly out of trouble and things like that.
And it's good exercise of it.
Yes.
And how often do you guys practice?
We practice to about 1 to 3 hours a day.
Yeah.
But that's only if we have tournaments. Most of the time we have tournaments. Practice 1 to 3 hours a day.
Okay, this is very impressive. We wish you great luck this weekend at the Apollo Theater. The Jazzy Jumpers are joining us this morning. And Tom, before we go out to break, I'm going to try this myself.
Yay!
I don't know how it's going to go. I certainly won't be doing that. Okay, you guys, can I jump in?
It's a survival game, Lord.
I'm going to jump in. I need it for a second anyway. The Jazzy Jumpers competing this weekend at the National Double Dutch Competition. Apollo Theater. Thank you, everybody.
Wow.
Appreciate it. Tom?
Tom is pointing for us.
I can't hear Tom.
And there's someone waving.
Roxanne Hart.
That's who it is, and she's waving to us.
Yeah.
Hey. Cool.
If I don't miss my guess.
Yeah.
Are we supposed to be hearing him?
Yeah, tell him we can't.
This hum
we
you're
can't
hearing
hear
is
you, Tom.
deliberate. Yeah.
Well, you pulled it off.
All right,
Okay.
listen, everybody. The Jury was a book. You on the Jury happens across the country every day. All about jury duty on Breakfast Time. It's 10 minutes to the top of the hour. Welcome back to Breakfast Time with Tom, Lori, Bob the Puppet, and me, Jim. I'm the announcer, and here's Tom.
Thank you, Jim. I'm here up in our billboard as we get situated. Hi there. How are you? This is giving me a new level of appreciation for what Jillian and Spencer and J.D. and Phil go through on a weekly basis. This is the world's first living billboard, as befits FX, here at the corner of Sunset Boulevard and Sweetser Avenue. Roxanne Hart from Chicago Hope is down there. Let's get a wave. Great episode last night with Richard Pryor guesting as an MS sufferer. And Lori, how's it looking from your end?
Well, it's terrific. I wish I was out there. I mean, it just looks spectacular. It's the type of thing that if I was driving down Sunset and I saw that, I mean, you probably cause an accident wanting to see what was going on with it. It just looks great.
Now, later today, I'm going to be going over to Mike and Maddie's show.
Oh, yeah?
They've invited me over. What do you want me to say about you?
Oh, well, first of all, lie, if you would. Actually, just tell Maddie I say hello. She was here actually the day for my birthday show.
Yeah.
If you remember.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, so that was great. You know, you picked in Pick Your News. I feel bad because I nixed the one you picked, which was, like I said, who doesn't have one. So I got to tell you who's getting a talk show.
Okay.
Rosie O'Donnell.
Rosie O'Donnell.
Rosie O'Donnell has signed for a talk show for next fall. And you know the funny
I thought she was going to replace Kathy Lee.
Yeah, no, she's getting her own.
Yeah.
Can you believe it? You know, that show is like the golden show. You go on that show, you co-host, like you fill in co-host once, and you get your own. It's happened to Suzanne Summers, George Hamilton, and now Rosie O'Donnell. So that's the key. If you want a talk show, go and fill in co-host on Rosie Kathy Lee, and then someone will give you one, I'm sure.
Barney's getting his own show, too.
All right, what we're doing, we're trying to reconfigure ourselves. If you can move down, Rich, and pass me that little that drawing pad there, because we have a segment that was scheduled for last week. Attorney Lisa Como, I believe, is sitting behind you in the study.
Yeah, she's right
back in the apartment. Lisa, how you doing?
Good, Tom. How are you?
Good, good. Now, what we're going to do, this segment, it was really inspired by a number of our FX Breakfast Time staff members recently being called to jury duty, some of whom ended up not serving on a jury, but it made us curious about the whole process. So we wondered, Lisa, what would happen if our own wart-laden sock, Bob, was called to jury duty?
All right.
What would that process be like?
Guilty! That comes later. That may come later.
Tell me when.
What we do first is, actually, Bob would probably receive either in the mail or when he goes down to the courthouse in response to his jury notice, perhaps a survey that he would fill out and tell the court a little bit about himself, his background and availabilities and things of that nature.
And depending on which state you're in, some of these surveys are more extensive than others, right?
Yes, it does vary state to state. You also may be called for federal jury duty, so it's not exactly the same everywhere, but generally the idea is the same, to learn a little bit about the background of the
but
juror.
everybody knows what state I'm in.
No kidding. And then you have to be prepared to hang around for a while.
Unfortunately, people tell me that is their experience, but while you are waiting to be called as a juror, other processes are going on, and the lawyers, depend on the jury waiting patiently and being available to come in and talk with us and tell us about themselves. So once you do actually get set up into a panel and you come into a courtroom or some selection room and you talk with the lawyers and sometimes with the judge, we'll what's called voir dire and ask questions and find out about the background of the jurors and if they're able to keep an open mind in the case that's involved.
Now, is that where the challenge for cause will come into play?
That's right. Sometimes the lawyers will challenge a juror for cause, which means because of their background or some particular fact about themselves, they're not able to sit on that jury. It's not personal. It just has to do with the facts of the case, and the juror may then be able to sit on another case.
How does that lead to a peremptory challenge, and what is that? Is there actual wrestling going on?
Well, only intellectual, I guess. But the peremptory challenge is a choice that the lawyers can have even after the jurors pass the first stage of the challenge for cause. The peremptory challenge may come up where the juror is excused, not for any particular reason. It's just the preference of the lawyers, and again, it's not a personal thing.
Demand to be sequestered.
And then here Judge Bergeron is offering Bob some admonition.
That's right. And that was the word of the day the other day, but what it means to say is he just simply, it's very important to the jury not to discuss the case. As you've learned, it's part of trying to keep evidence in.
All right, now, final decision.
Yes. But that doesn't mean the verdict. The final decision in the jury process is whether or not you will be a juror on a particular case. You may be excused, you may go to another case, or you may be on telephone standby waiting to find out if you need to come down and sit.
The final decision is which publisher, right?
Depending on the case. But in closing, how long do you stay in that potential limbo on telephone standby or waiting in the other room to see if you'll be called to a case? Isn't there a point there they say, okay, you've done your job, you've served your county, now go home?
Generally there is, but it depends. I mean, it depends on what's happening in the particular courthouse at the time. Once you're called for the case, though, when you're on telephone standby, that means you will sit, whether there's a holiday in between or some other delay, but you generally will sit. But if you come down and you're available and you're not chosen, after a certain time, they generally will let you go and say, thank you, you're done.
Thank you very much. A little behind-the-scenes look at what's likely to happen if you get called for jury duty, and if you're a registered voter, Count on it. Attorney Lisa Como, thanks, Lisa, for coming back. Appreciate
Thank you,
it.
Tom.
And for doing this transcontinental interview. Appreciate that,
Tom,
Lori.
have you ever been called for jury duty?
Have I what?
Have you ever been called for jury duty?
No, you know, I never have.
Some
I
people
never
get
have.
called all the time.
I've been a registered voter for years and more years than I care to admit to. I don't know whether the word has gotten out about me or what. I don't know.
Oh, I think they've seen your work.
Yeah.
I was called, but I never made it to a jury.
Yeah.
Oh, really, Jim?
Yep, never made it to a jury. They said, we don't want those kind of peers.
Well,
Yeah.
you've been before a jury, though. I know
Oh, yeah,
that.
well, I've called out to them.
Yeah. Okay, we have 1 full hour of breakfast time left. Billy Bragg coming up this hour, and a lot more stuff, so stay right where you are. We're going to kick it off.
Guilty.
Old man chicken, that old man chicken, he must know something, but he just keeps scratching the ground. You know, we've really never tapped the intelligence of the chicken. Our culture seems to exclude the wisdom of any bird that can't or won't fly. When was the last time you heard anyone say, what's the ostrich thing? Welcome back to Breakfast Time with Laurie Hibbert, Tom Bergeron, and Bob the Puppet. My name's Jim, and I'm the announcer to say good morning. Here's Tom.
And here I am at Sunset Boulevard in Los Angeles, the corner of Sunset and Sweetser Avenue, surrounded by hard-headed FX employees on the West Coast doing the FX Cube dance. Do the dance!
Yeah!
It's kind of like the Josie dance.
Yeah, it is kind of like the Josie dance, only the fatality rate's much higher.
They're doing that dance. They should have taken care of that before they got on the
Oh, yeah.
Okay, stop dancing.
Yeah, there we go.
It's like having a tremor. What's happening back in the apartment this hour, Lori?
Actually, we got a full house happening here. Our double Judge jumpers are upstairs having some well-deserved bagels and donuts. They do a really fine job for us, the Jazzy Jumpers. We've got Judith Kat Schwartz. She's from Personal Effects. She's going to be cooking turkey dinner for them. Nothing for us, however. But she's in the apartment doing that. Also, the O'Connell family joining us from New Hampshire this morning and just hanging out, making themselves feel at home. So we got a lot going on. Trevor Kaufman, our computer expert, is going to talk to us about how you can make sure your kids are surfing safely on the internet this hour, and we're going to find out what the right foundation is for you to wear. All that coming up.
Hey, did you mention Billy Bragg is going to perform too?
I did mention that actually just before we went. Yeah, very exciting. Billy Bragg, his only New York appearance will be on our show today, so we're very excited and proud to have him with us this hour too.
That's very cool. If we can get the wide camera to go over, I think Roxanne's over there. Roxanne Hart from Chicago. Hope is with us this hour as well, and she'll be coming up into the Billboard for her interview. I think this is a celebrity interview first. In addition, our road warriors are all around the country, and I'm going to unhook myself, move on down here to a monitor if I can, and welcome them back. Spencer Garbett is just up the road a piece from me. He's in Santa Clara, California, and we're going to meet the first U.S. Olympic synchronized swimming team who have recently won the World Championship.
Going for the gold. There's some basic moves that they have to perform. This is one of the more complicated ones. I'm going to be getting in the water, and they're going to be teaching me the basics of synchronized swimming just in a while.
That's great. Oh, man.
Yeah, we've seen you strut. This would be great.
Yeah, invite them back for Friday. Also, Jillian Hamilton's out in our backyard in New York of Madison Square Park, and
going to explain to us how we can smell over 10,000 different smells. We're going to be using this human-sized flower to illustrate how we can smell and also what sort of emotions these smells evoke in us. But Tom and Lori, I have one additional question for you. This is Lenny. Good morning, Lenny.
Hey, how you doing?
Take a look at this sign he wrote. Now, he's been coming out here for a while with the same sign, wanting to be on breakfast time. Do you think we can give him a try, you guys?
He's going to be coming out a lot more. Nice try, Ronnie.
I'm just trying to get ahead.
He's just trying to get ahead. Okay, well, maybe next time.
Try sending a resume, Lenny.
Yeah, tell him we got a spot on the second tier of the Billboard. Have you ever done an interview on a Billboard, Roxanne?
No, but I have been on a Billboard before.
Oh, you have?
Yeah.
Just hanging out on a Billboard? Or?
I did a movie called Highlander, and I was on the Billboard in the Silver Cup factory in Brooklyn. Yeah.
Only seasoned Billboard pros on this show, Lori.
Very, very impressive. Right now, let's check in with Jane, see what's happening across the country.
All right.
Thanks, Lori. Good morning, everyone. I'm Jane Fergus. Here's what's happening with Breakfast Time News. Lawmakers are heading home for the Thanksgiving holiday, but not before laying the groundwork for an intense budget battle with the White House. Last night, the House approved a Republican plan to balance the budget in 7 years. President Clinton vows a veto. In NBA action last night, the Portland Trail Blazers blazed by the Los Angeles Clippers 113-94, and Orlando Magic shot down the Golden State Warriors 101-95. And finally, everybody's talking this morning about what Princess Di talked about last night in her interview on British television. Diana admitted she was unfaithful to Prince Charles, but she doesn't want a divorce, and she says she won't go quietly. Princess of Wales also said she once suffered from the eating disorder bulimia. That's a quick look at what's making headlines. Now he's seen fire, he's seen rain. He's Nicky Notorious, private meteorologist.
Two goons held Nicky while the big wet gorilla kept punching him. The gorilla might have come from Westport, Washington, but maybe he was just wet. Nicky closed his eyes and dreamed about the spiky yellow ball and the gumbo in Pineville, Louisiana. Then the gorilla spoke. Don't tell the people about the snow around the Great Lakes going all the way down into northern Kentucky, or the rain in northern and central Florida, the rain in the northern Pacific coast. No way, said Nicky, and then he said, quick, look over your shoulder, and the big gorilla turned just in time to see the high temperature map. And Nicky hit him with that. That's the weather.
And he was out cold. Thank you very much, Nicky. Good weather today.
Maybe it's society's fault. I don't know.
We're going to go join Tom on Sunset Boulevard. No, this is working well.
Yeah, we want to say goodbye to His Honor, the Mayor of West Hollywood, John Heilman. Thanks for setting me up on that jump rope hustle, Mayor. Very charming. Mayor Heilman, thanks for joining us. The
America's
mayor
only teen
of
mayor.
West Hollywood. Nice stuff.
Yeah.
Jim, what else is happening?
No. I stink, you smell. The sense of smell. Why does it work so well in the net? On Breakfast Time. 7 minutes past the hour. Welcome back to Breakfast Time with Lori, Tom, Bob, the puppet, and me, Jim. I'm the announcer. And here's Tom and Roxanne.
Thank you, Jim.
Hart.
That's right, and Roxanne Hart from Chicago. Hope hanging out here. Just off the main part of the billboard. We'll be climbing up to the second level when we do our interview in the next segment, all right?
Oh, that would be great. I love it. Can I dive off?
I was just, well, you mentioned that. You know, I was noticing you have a much more stylish harness than this thing, this sort of circumcision harness that I've got on.
Well, you know, us women, us girls have to look good, right?
Meanwhile, I can sing falsetto now. And you know, it's improved my sense of smell, oddly enough. We'll find out more about that. Jillian Hamilton's in Madison Square Park with Dr. Ron Hoffman and a big old human head. Jill?
Tom, there is a virtual cornucopia of smells here in Madison Square Park. Anything from the fallen leaves to the grass to the other things that we won't mention. And Dr. Ron is here to explain to us how we actually smell things and what sort of emotion it evokes in us. Let's start with this flower that would come over here towards the nose.
There's a smell of flower. What happens initially is a smell comes from an object like a flower or an odor in the atmosphere, and it's inhaled through the nose. So spray some of that in. See the spray going up the nose?
Yes,
now,
I do. Okay,
let's
so
take
the
a
spray
look
would go
behind
up
the
the
scenes.
nose. All right, now behind our bigger-than-life-size face, you have balloons and sponges and rope. What does all that stuff represent?
Well, what this represents is the interior of the nasal passages. There are nerves here. Here's the bone, which is the sinus bone. Sometimes it gets stuffy. Sponges present the sinus bone. And here's special nerves for nerve relays, and here's the brain. What happens is these are the nerves, of which there are millions, that receive the smells. And what you have here is sort of like a lock and key mechanism, where the key is like a little molecule of smell, and the key goes into the lock is the nerve.
And it touches off the nerve. Okay, now once the nerve gets that electrical impulse, then what happens?
Well, I might mention here that there are over 10,000 different types of nerves to receive signals to yellow, green, red receptors.
What are those?
The 10,000 smell receptors. very complex scents.
Jillian, what are those?
Okay, now once
Those
we
Fruit Loops?
have
Yeah,
that
those are Fruit Loops,
electrical impulse
yeah.
goes up through the nerve, then we get to the sponge or what represents
What
the
happens
bone.
is
Hey,
these
Jill!
nerves are very
Hey,
long. They
Jill!
go into the
It
brain.
impedes your
What you
hearing.
have here are ganglia, which are little receptors in the brain. They process
Do a
the
segment on
electromotor
hearing.
impulses, and then what happens? You go into the brain. So you have little relays that go to memories. This might be the memory of smelling perfume in the past. This might be apple pie. And this is our good old flower. It's
Okay, now-
located in the brain.
Of all of the 10,000 different scents that we know, how many of those scents are instinctual or how many of them are learned? I mean,
a
we
good
smell
question.
something and someone told us, oh, that smell represents a flower. And then there are other scents which are instinctual.
Absolutely. There's actually a section of the nose which is called the sexual nose, which is responsible for sexual signaling, especially important in animals, but in humans it works too.
Okay, and the learned smells, so for example, if I had a bad experience, why don't you jump on down? If I had a bad experience with the flower, and I smelled the flower, even though it smelled nice, but it gave me an allergic reaction, would I still have a favorable response to that smell?
Well, this person is developing
by
a
Pete
smile
Rose.
in response to the flower. But somebody who had an adverse response might have a frown.
Okay, so the whole process is learned. We smell something, the message is sent to the
meanies.
brain, and then based on our relationship or what we learned about that particular smell, we smile or we frown.
Right, smells have different connotations, but there are certain smells,
bet.
like the smell of a skunk or something, absolutely a bad kind of thing.
And then the other percentage is instinctual, like the
Right.
sexual smells or smells that we have when we're making love or when we want to make love.
Exactly. There's smells like the smell of lavender, for example, which produce very relaxing signals in the brain, and it appears to work in everyone.
Yeah.
Okay, that's it. That's how we develop our sense of smell. Over 10,000 of them, Tom, and they teach us and evoke certain emotions in our everyday lives.
All right, Jill. Thanks a lot. Roxanne, what's the aroma that makes you the most sensual?
The aroma that makes me the most sensual, chocolate chip cookie aroma.
Chocolate chip cookie, a woman after my own heart. For something that might get your nose out of joint if you're a parent, we go to the game room and Lori.
Yeah, thank you very much, Tom. You know, there was a story on the news last night suggesting that the internet may not be the safest place for your kids to be surfing. A lot of criminals and pornographers apparently hang out there as well. It's got parents pretty concerned, so we've asked our computer expert Trevor Kaufman to join us to talk about some of the things that you can do to make sure that your kids aren't going into the wrong rooms on the internet. Now, what's out there that people are so concerned about?
Well, since pretty much anyone can make a homepage on the internet, there's some people out there with some weird tastes. So although most of the stuff on there is pretty benign, you will find a couple of things that you wouldn't want your
You've
kids
got
to
this
see.
smirk on your face. Have you found a certain...
Me? No.
No. So you have some programs here that you can put in your computer?
Yeah, they're now, so that parents have enough control to keep their kids from seeing some of this material, there are software companies that are making special web browsers that keep the kids from seeing what you don't want them to see. So in this case, we're using Intergo through Windows 95, and what it's allowed us to do is we've logged on as a teenager. So if we try and get to some questionable sites, it won't let us.
Do you have to go through initially and punch out the ones that you don't want them to see?
You don't, actually. It's great. There are big staffs of people out there who are going through the internet, rating sites and looking for dirty stuff on the internet and things that might be questionable and labeling them as such, and they keep a database. This piece of software goes out and asks the database every time you try and look at a site, and if it might be a little questionable, it will block you out. In this case, Intergo actually, you put in the ages of all your kids, and they each have a separate password, and they're using a lot in schools as well. You put in your birth date, and when you become 17 or 18 or 21 or whatever age you decide is appropriate.
For you. It's like everything. It's like going to an R-rated movie.
Exactly.
What about the other one? Internet in a box.
Internet in a Box is a similar package. They have different features.
Like Tom in a Box, right?
That's kind of like that.
Not nearly as scary as Tom in a Box. Intergo is
you, Trevor.
Intergo is a really full-featured browser. It can not only let you look through the web and look at sites, but it comes with a whole library of an encyclopedia and a dictionary and a science dictionary, all kinds of things that...
Wood paneling?
Wood paneling, so it's really lovely. You can go to a number of different spots, either that you've chosen or that come with it. So you can go directly to an encyclopedia, and it'll will open up the web browser and get to it. If we type in now, if we were to type in fact, I'll even try and do it, penthouse or something like that, it won't let us go.
I just read the articles.
Yeah, it blocks us out. So Internet in a Box is a similar browser, although it doesn't come with, it's a bit cheaper, it doesn't come with quite as many dictionaries and encyclopedias.
Okay, good. What are the prices on both of these?
Intergo is $99.95, and you can use it with whatever internet service you're currently using.
Okay.
Internet in a Box runs through CompuServe, and it's $29.95 plus the CompuServe connection.
But doesn't Windows 95 come with its own browser? Oh, Trevor?
It does. It does. Microsoft gives you a browser for that, and you can use the Intergo browser with Microsoft service.
Okay. Now, do you foresee a time when the internet is going to censor itself, when people will just stop letting just anybody open a web page?
I don't think so. The Congress has come down on the side of freedom of speech, and I think as long
that
as
makes me feel better already.
as long as there are tools like this that allow parents to have some control, I think it'll probably remain a free space.
All right, Trevor, thank you very much.
First Amendment.
Yeah.
That's right.
Trevor Kaufman.
Yeah.
Always a pleasure. Thank you so much. Tom?
Thanks, Trevor.
Thanks, Trev.
Thanks, Tom.
All right, the question that we're going to face here on the corner of Sunset Boulevard and Sweetser in a moment is, can the lovely and talented Roxanne Hart, wearing these shoes, go up on the billboard, now go up to the grate, and walk on that? We'll find out.
It'll be great.
Live, coming up on Breakfast Time. Let's start climbing, Roxanne.
This is going to be great.
It's 19 minutes past the hour. Welcome back to Breakfast Time with Tom, Laurie, Bob, the puppet, and me, Jim. I am the announcer, and here's Laurie.
Thank you very much. I should tell you that tomorrow Lori Loughlin is on our show
Yay.
of Full House fame, and she's also starring in a new TV show with Tony Danza. Now, she'll be in the apartment tomorrow, and Tom, my co-host, will be back in the apartment right now, though. He's on Sunset Strip with one of the stars of Chicago Hope.
Yeah.
Yes, we're just practicing the FX Billboard kick line. You know, it's an interesting thing when you do a kick line on a billboard, right, Roxanne? It starts to sway.
It starts to sway back and forth, and you don't know if you're going to fall off.
Look at Ann Sweeney down there. Ann Sweeney, the big boss here at FX. Don't worry, we're fine, Mom. It's all right.
I love that woman.
Okay. Roxanne is here with us. Roxanne Hart from Chicago Hope. She plays a nurse. I may need one before this show is up. Last night's episode was wonderful.
Yeah, it's a really great episode, and Richard Pryor was so fabulous on it.
Yeah, Richard Pryor. You also had Carol Kane there as well, playing the sister of
Alan Birch,
who was murdered, a couple weeks ago, right?
Yeah, by some thugs who shot him.
Now, here's an interesting thing. You have already been on a billboard when you shot Highlander.
Right. Only it was lightning and raining, and it was the middle of the night, about 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, and I was strapped to it and screamed and fell off, and, you know.
Now, is that more frightening than standing next to high-kicking dweebs in hard hats?
I think because I wasn't belted that time. This time I've got this safety belt here. So, see, even though we look like we're really doing something very dangerous, we're actually just wimps.
You're with Tom. It's dangerous.
Yeah. Thank you, Bob. We're going to take a look at, I say we, but we won't see it. But actually we will. Now they're holding a monitor over there, Roxanne. Roxanne Hart and the gang from CBS's Chicago Hope.
Ooh.
Aaron, with you must be... Well, I can't help but wondering if this is a transitional thing, and if it is, that makes it about me a little, and, well, I can't help but look at you and wonder what it is about you that Aaron always had a problem with me overthinking. Do you overthink? No, but you don't.
Whoa.
All right.
Yeah.
Now let me get this straight.
Yeah.
You barge into this woman's home, go up into her bathroom.
No. We're in the bathroom at the hospital. We're all taking showers there, and I'm actually taking a shower, and she walks in after me.
Oh.
So we're both sort of naked at the time, and we get to sort of assess each other's physical attributes, so to speak. And she's now on the brink of having an affair with my ex-husband. Yes. So I'm very curious as to what this woman looks like in the bathroom.
There was one time before I married my wife, I was at a health club in New Hampshire, and I walked into the shower. The only other guy was her ex-boyfriend, and it was like the weirdest thing.
I can imagine. How'd you compare?
Well, we maintained eye contact the entire time. The entire time. But this Chicago Hope's doing very well on Monday nights on CBS. Are you missing Mandy, who was with us a few weeks ago?
Well, we missed his singing around the set, but you know, it's a great cast, and we have a good group of people, and I think we're doing really well.
I think so too. And last night was evidence of that. Now, one of the things that is said about Chicago Hope versus, say, ER, is that your show is more character-driven. That it really is more about the people and less about the turmoil, in a sense.
Well, I think it's a story, and it's involved stories and plot lines, and you have to listen and be attentive to follow it. You can't. It's not a lot of quick cuts, you know, and it's fairly complex. It doesn't talk down to the audience.
Can you give us any hint of where this might go? I mean, do you and Adam Arkin have a chance of getting back together, or are you going to just face down suitors in the shower periodically, or what?
I have an ever-escalating substance abuse problem, and I sort of sink to the bottom before I rise again.
Well, you've certainly risen well today, let me tell you. Good to talk. Roxanne Hart from Chicago Hope on Monday nights on CBS, our special Billboard celebrity.
Billboard celebrity.
What a good sport she is.
Yeah.
Tom, hang out there with Roxanne, because we're going to do a little more mailbag music, please.
Great.
Oh, yes,
now, Jim, now.
Mr. Postman. Hey, Mr. Postman. Where's Mr. Postman? Look and see.
Thank you very much. I'm sorry, I'm talking to Bill Corbin, our email producer, and he's trying to tell me there's something going on. Oh, here we go. Ed Blake emailed us that Bob is back. I'm so happy. Now I can go into the holidays knowing that all is well in the breakfast time world, and hopefully Tom will survive the Billboard experience. He says he really wants a T-shirt, so congrats to you.
We're doing fine. Although Roxanne's assistant is like waving her down, like, "Okay, get down there. Why don't you want terra firma with those shoes?"
Actually, Tom, I have another one
for my life, and I think she's actually she takes care of me. She's very good.
Catch her.
Actually, Tom, we have another fax. If you have a little time after the show, this guy wants you to do him a favor. George Rivera writes us that he says, you know, do you think you could stop by my house in West Hollywood? It's on North Doheny Drive, and pick up my mail. The person I subleased my apartment from 5 years ago hasn't sent me my mail yet. So if you could stop by and pick up George's mail on your way to the airport, we'd appreciate it.
You know what? Maybe we can get that guy with the sandwich board out in Madison Square Park to do that. We'll break him in slowly.
There's a lot that guy can do when you think about it. We should hire him. But it's all on the West Coast right now. If we read your letter and fax and email on the air, we will send you, as I've mentioned before, an FX T-shirt. And as we've mentioned before as well, Jim's going to tell you what's coming up.
Write to us at Breakfast Time, P.O. Box 825, Madison Square Station, New York, New York, 10159-0825. Or you can call us on our Sprint-sponsored 800 number, 800-FXFXFX1.
My name is Paul.
Or
Billboard.
At 212-802-4208. Or email us at fxbreakfast@delphi.com. As Laurie said, if we read it on the air, you get it in the mail.
Yeah.
Hey, Laurie?
Yeah?
Before you throw to news, how about we get a big old Sunset Strip round of applause for Roxanne Hart? Thank you, Hollywood.
Man, these West Hollywood crowds.
Now, Tom, say goodbye to Roxanne, but it's unfortunate she's not in the apartment, because we could have done a celebrity handoff, because as we say goodbye to Roxanne, we welcome Billy Bragg. We're very excited to have him. She's all set and ready to play, but right now we're going to take a look at some of today's top stories.
All right.
Good morning, I'm Jane Fergus. Here's what's making news. The defense has begun making its case in the retrial of Eric and Lyle Menendez. The brothers are charged with killing their wealthy parents. Prosecutors rested their case yesterday after 6 weeks of testimony. More controversy for TV's 60 Minutes. Andy Rooney says he was censored by his bosses at CBS. Rooney claims he was ordered to delete criticism of the network's management from last Sunday's program. And finally, if you could be somebody else for one day, who would you choose? News. In a new survey of 1,000 Americans, most women said they'd like to be Princess Di. John F. Kennedy Jr. was tops amongst the men. What about you, Jim?
I'd rather be Nikki Notorious, private meteorologist, because Nikki stopped at Bompo's in Van Wert, Ohio, mostly to get a shot of rye, but partially to get out of the snow. It's tough to sing how dry I am when it snows like this at a bum sitting at the end of the bar. If you don't like the snow, why don't you go to Sumter, South Carolina, Nikki quipped, drawing a big laugh from most of the regulars. They got a spiky yellow ball. And then that face underneath the soggy fedora reminded him of the snow in the Midwest, all around the Great Lakes, the rain in the northern Pacific coast, the rain in northern Florida, and the spiky yellow balls in the southern and central part of the country. Nikki had to say it. Mishu, why don't you take a shower and look at the high temperatures? And they did. That's the weather.
Nicely done, Jim. Get a look here at all of the gang from the West Coast doing their darndest to spread the word about Breakfast Time on FX. Do the going to commercial dance! Shake that groove thing!
And while
you got.
While they float through the air, we'll talk about putting a foundation down you can build a face on. Coming up on Breakfast Time.
First solo concert tour in New York in 4 years, and we're lucky enough to have him on Breakfast Time. And what did you say to me before? You said any morning show?
Yeah, when I told it was a breakfast TV show, it's not a good time for musicians. That's the best thing about this job. You don't have to do you don't have to do mornings. But then they said, oh, it's a breakfast time show. It starts about 10 or 11 or something like that. You go, oh, that's my kind of breakfast.
So we're happy to have him here. Now listen, one of the many makeup mistakes that people make, and believe me, there are many, is choosing the wrong foundation. It's a constant problem. We've asked Jane Larkworthy from Mademoiselle magazine to come and tell us how to pick the right foundation. Welcome back.
Thank you. It's nice to be back.
Yeah. So, how do you know
where do you
what's
start?
the right? Yeah, where do you start? What's the right one for you? How do you know?
Okay. The first thing you want to do is figure out what your undertones are. Have no makeup on. Put a white T-shirt on. Nina, why don't you come on over?
No, thank you. Think that.
Have
no makeup and a white T-shirt.
No makeup and a white T-shirt and just run out. They're going to be either sallow undertones or ruddy. Nina has ruddy. Ruddy undertones are very fair skin.
She's got ruddy tones.
It's got a little pinkiness. As you can see, we tested colors that fall into the sort of pink or cool categories.
Sure, can we get a quick test?
As you see, the middle stripe that you can hardly see is the one that matches your skin tone.
Believe it or not, you can't see it really. There's one right in the middle.
We got it.
And that's why it's good.
Wow, yeah,
because it matches their skin tone. So if you're ready, you look for shades like ivory or porcelain that connote cool, pinky kind of tones.
So those are the catchwords you're looking for when you go to like the drugstore.
If you are a ruddy complexion, like a cool complexion, yes.
All right, ready.
Okay, thanks very much. And when you go to the drugstore, a good idea is to, once you decide your undertones, grab a couple shades that look that are close to your skin tone. Bring a compact mirror, go up as close to a window as you can, and take a look at it. Hold it up against your cheek, and then take it
So
from
being
there.
by the window is
really
the
helps.
Natural light outside.
Natural light is most important. It looks the least phony. Teresa is yellow and sallow, as you can see. Sallow skin tends to have yellow
They call her
undertones,
sallow yellow.
I'd say you're pretty sallow too.
Well, I've been
You
sick.
can learn something here.
What?
Olive skin, Mediterranean skin tends to be more sallow. Okay, Teresa, we have sort of more of the sort of peachy kind of beigey colors. Her middle one, again, is the one that closely matches her skin tone. So look for shades like honey, sunny, buff, beige, things that connote more warmth.
Okay.
Thanks
and
very
I
much.
guess we have a third.
We do have a third. Shandy, come on over. I just want to point out a major misconception that a lot of people try to do is to totally counteract what their complexion really is.
Right.
If you're pink, don't try to look yellow. Don't try to, counterbalance it. Go with your regular skin tone. Otherwise, it's totally fake. Shanty has African-American skin, and a very common problem with African-American skin is that it can have two tones in the face itself, as she does.
Sure, with a lighter around the eyes and darker sort of
So it can be a problem. So a African-American makeup artist once gave me a tip that look at the ears and look at the neck of your skin tone and try to match it with that. And it's a good idea to get two foundations because then you can blend them together and even out so you have the most predominant skin tone showing.
Okay, and what are any catchwords?
amber, golden. But again, as I say, grab the ones that you think are closest to your skin tone, go up to the window, and then judge it from there.
Okay.
And it's a good idea to have two foundations to work with all the time anyway, because just like the season, the shade that most matches her skin tone is the one on top this time. And if it was blended in more all over her whole foundation, it would even out her skin tone a little more. But two foundations is a good thing to have because your skin, just like the seasons, change.
Sure, I was going to say in the summertime you
might need a little more of the lighter.
bronze. And
Right,
sure, yeah.
right.
So this is all available at your local drugstore?
There are so many shades of foundations that every company makes at the drugstore. And a department store, you definitely have the advantage of a salesperson who's knowledgeable helping you. But drugstore, definitely buy a couple and
don't worry about looking like a jerk when you go over to the window with it and doing it.
Just try not to get arrested. Don't go out the door with it, just to the window.
Jane Larkworthy from Mademoiselle Magazine.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Very informative. Tom? Can't hear you.
What?
No, there you go.
Now we can.
Can I hear me? Give me a light.
I can hear you.
Microphone.
I can hear you. I can hear you.
You're
It's
okay.
How's that? Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you before.
Yeah.
All right, now, Danny, come here. Can you hear me if I don't use this one?
No.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Yes.
All right. Here's what we're going to do, and this is for just a cautionary note for any of you in the LA area who watch the show. We don't want you doing this. The only reason that what is about to happen is because we have a very close relationship, the people up there and me. So it's time to feed the FX. Give us your best seal dance. Come on. Thanks to McDonald's. There you go.
Come on, Bergeron. Use that well-pumped arm of yours.
Over there.
Wow, it's raining Egg McMuffins.
There are hungry people in the world that could eat those.
There you go.
Well, Tom feeds everybody. We're going to take a look at what's coming up on the FX stage.
Now someone's going to have to walk
Neat
them.
people in the world that could eat them too.
Yeah.
You know, it's like the 60s all over again, man, on FX today. Coming up on Personal FX, Gwen McGee is with an Allman Brothers super collector at his home in Macon, Georgia. Right, Gwen?
That's right. You know, in the early 70s, Jim, the Allman Brothers Band rehearsed and created their music right in this room. And when we come back later on Personal FX, we're going to see loads and loads of Allman Brothers memorabilia coming up only on Personal FX.
Yeah, and then on Nanny and the Professor, two of Nanny's aunts arrived for a visit by hot air balloon. That's high, man.
Is that Bart Simpson's head?
That's right.
Yeah.
Tonight on Mission Impossible, Casey unknowingly carries an attaché case filled with money and a bomb. All of that and more coming up on FX today.
Thanks, Jim.
You know, how many times, Lori, in the career do you get a chance to fake Egg McMuffins at people in a billboard?
Once, anyway.
Well, we go to break. Coffee's back! Coffee!
No!
I'm kidding.
Didn't see you throw any food at Ann Sweeney, did we?
I don't mean to boast, but we've got Billy Bragg coming up on Breakfast Time. It's 18 minutes to the top of the hour. Welcome back to Breakfast Time with Tom, Lori, Bob the Puppet, and me, Jim. I am the announcer, and here's Tom.
Thank you, Jim. I just want to take a few seconds to thank the fine folks at Gannett Outdoor who really are responsible for this billboard being as much fun as it is. John Martin, who is the president of the Western Region. John, it's a pleasure to be here bouncing around in your handiwork.
Well, thank you so much. You know, it's a real pleasure to be able to do something like this in Hollywood on Sunset Strip where everybody is looking at it and everybody can see the different innovations that we can use now in the out-of-home media. And we have enjoyed doing it with you and enjoyed doing it for you.
Alan Rossi, we met before the show. You were going to tell me all the things that could go wrong. You haven't said anything.
Nothing has gone wrong.
Okay, all right.
I want to thank all the people from FX and from the agency as well, but especially want to thank the electricians and the carpenters and the construction people.
Great group of people.
We're out here last night until 10 o'clock, I think.
Yeah.
So I
Just
wanna thank
retouching your photo, Bob.
Thank you.
That's all we were doing.
And worth
We've
every
got
minute
a
of it.
very exciting guest back in the apartment in New York who hasn't played in New York for how long, Lori?
I think it's 4 years, Billy?
Oh, yeah, 4 years.
4 years. Billy Bragg. Playing tonight at Tramps, and this time you left the band behind, huh?
That's right.
How come?
Because I've got some new songs to play, and when I've got the band, I kind of hide behind them and play old songs. I thought if I don't bring them along, I can't remember those old songs, so I have to play new songs.
That's the catalyst for the whole tour?
Yeah, to get new songs done, record an album in December, and come back.
So we're like your
Warm up. Yes, you're my warm-up audience, sort of, yeah.
All right. Good to be back in New York?
Yes, it's always good to be back in New York.
What do you like about it? Is the audience different here?
Very different here, yeah. Yeah, very different here. I mean, the main problems is there are several sporting references in my songs, you know, and the difference between American football and world football is a bit, you know, I don't understand why American football keeps stopping and they all talk to each other. How can they even understand each other with those big helmets on?
They're sharing, Billy. They're sharing.
Yeah.
They need that group support, that group hug every time that they go.
And those tight trousers.
That's it about that. Congratulations, you're a dad.
A new dad,
years
yes.
ago.
Yes.
Does that influence your music at all?
Very much so, yeah.
Did you ever think it would?
I didn't realise how much it would, really. It certainly made my singing voice a lot softer. So, yeah, I
Keep
can't
it quiet so you don't wake the baby.
No, I'm getting to go to sleep. Sing to him. I can't sing in my normal singing voice, so everyone's noticed on this tour I've been singing a bit quietly. Yeah.
What's his name?
Jack.
Jack. So
Hey,
let's
Jack.
sing something for Jack.
Yeah, well,
Thank you very much.
I ought to leave enough hot water for your morning bath, but I'd not thought. I hate to hear you talk that way, but I can't bring myself to say I'm sorry. The past is always knocking incessant, trying to break through into the present. We have to fight to keep it out, but I won't be the first to shout it's over. I used to want to plant bombs at the last night of the proms. But now you'll find me with the baby in the bathroom with the big shell, listening for the sound of the sea. I steal a kiss from you in the supermarket. I walk you down the aisle, you fill my basket, and through it all the stick I take is worth it for the love we make. I used to want to plant bombs at the last night of the proms. But now you'll find me with the baby in the bathroom with that big shell, listening for the sound of the sea. The baby and me. I stayed in bed, alone, uncertain. Then I met you. You drew the curtains. The sun came up, the trees began to sing, and light shone in on everything. I love you. The sun came up, the trees began to sing, and light shone in on everything. I love you.
Yeah! It's 10 minutes to the top of the hour. Welcome back to Breakfast Time with Lori, Tom, Bob the Puppet, and me, Jim. I'm the announcer. This is Billy Bragg.
Thank you, Billy Bragg. Wonderful music. Just thrilled to have you here. Good luck with the album.
Thank
And
you
we
very much.
expect to see you back
We'll
here
be back.
when you come in tour.
We'll be back.
And you get to meet Tom, who is my co-host, who's usually here, but we're celebrating our live Billboard on Sunset Strip, and that's where he is.
Indeed. We're celebrating one more thing right below me. Staffer Chris Phelan down there twirling his cube. It's his birthday!
Happy birthday!
Pass the carefully tethered cake down to Chris. It's the first Billboard birthday I've ever been part of.
Yeah. There he is. Oh, very nice.
All right. Make a wish like that you survived this.
Does he want me to sing him happy birthday, Tom?
Yeah. Hold on. Lori is going to sing her patented happy birthday to Chris.
All right.
Chris, be thankful you don't have an earpiece.
Okay, I'm going to do it really quickly because we're running out of time.
Go ahead.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
All right. Nicely done.
God, that's beautiful.
And if that's not enough to shatter your eardrums, try synchronized swimming underwater. Yes, sir. Everything's a segue. Spencer Garbett's up the road a piece here in California. He's in Santa Clara with the first U.S. Olympic synchronized swimming team. Spencer?
That's right. This is the first year it's going to be an Olympic swim team. It used to be a solo and duet. They've got rid of that. It's just a team. We're going to see some of their moves in a second. But before we get in the water, this is Margot, and there's some regulations.
Yeah, when did you stop working out, Spencer?
There's certain regulations in terms of the suits that they can wear. They can't be too high in the leg. They can't be too low in the bust area because the judges get kind of testy about that. In addition, they can't take any props in there with them. Now, they also have a little hat. If you could just turn your head there, Margot, we can get a look at that as well. And your hair. Now, you're going to put this stuff in my hair so that it doesn't get all gooped up. And tell us what it is. Go ahead, put it in my hair.
Okay, this is Nox gelatin, and we use it to keep our hair staying nice and stiff, but it's a little cold right now, so it's
Spencer?
Oh, great. Right.
You fell asleep under a car.
Spencer, where's your microphone?
Right here. See, so we're going to get in the water, and we're going to show you some of the basic moves it takes to be a synchronized swimmer. So I'll just shoot my hair back.
9.3.
What's the first move?
We found out that you did water polo, so we do what's called egg beater, just like water polo.
Okay.
And your legs go back and forth, and you gotta try to just keep your body real stable while your legs go back and forth.
Okay.
And we'll show you something. Yeah.
Okay. This is one of the basic moves now.
This is something we put together, a series of different strokes, using the egg beater technique.
Okay, good. That's one of the basics for this. Okay, and then one of the others, your names?
Margot is going to do ballet legs, and they're going to show you a complex move of ballet leg movements.
Come on, Spencer.
And then Margot's going to show you basic ballet leg, which we get to teach you.
Okay. What do you have to do this?
You do like this, and then you lay on your back towards the bottom of the foot. And I'm going to help you a little bit, and push your hips through. Now bend your knee, and then
No, this is easy. Okay.
For you. This is one of our hard moves.
Okay. Now when you do this, an important thing is they always make fun. You have to put these nose clips on because these ladies are underneath the water for times about 50 seconds at a time, and if you go inverted, you'll get all this water in your nose. So go ahead, show us the move.
Okay, you're at your height here.
Oh, yeah.
And that's an easy one.
Spin about 5 times.
Come on.
Oh, okay.
And remember to point your toes.
Okay.
Wait a
Here we
minute,
go.
Wait a minute.
There he goes. Let's see Spencer. Let's see him talk.
Spencer's got to work on his toe point. That's probably the area that needs the most improvement right now. They're going to do something a little more complex.
Oh, good.
You probably don't want to try this. This is from their duet, and they're world champions, and they're known for their complex leg movement, fast and hard.
I hope he's not chewing gum, too.
You might best to get on this move.
Well, I don't think I'll be trying that one. But you're going to show us one of the other moves, which is called the lift, so you get set up for that. Now,
this is teamwork.
A lot of people say that swimming, it's easy on your body, but there's a lot of overuse injuries in the sport, like knees, pelvic joints, and shoulders, elbows, and stuff like that. This is the lift, which is one of the more complicated moves. Just gorgeous, and a lot of times their heart rates, the heart rate monitors when they're practicing, because they're in the water doing these moves for 6 hours a day without touching the side or the bottom or anything. So there were heart rate monitors, and their heart rates are about 190 to 200, which is extremely high for several hours at a time. And these are some of the basic moves. We wish them the best of luck in the 96 Olympics.
Spencer in the drink. By the way, Spencer is to synchronized swimming what chaos theory is to science. Let's do a little synchronized dancing to break. We'll be right back.
Tom walks across Sunset Boulevard, a pedestrian in L.A. No time, here's Tom.
Thank you, Jim. I want to thank everybody for making my West Coast trip go quick so much fun.